if I were to go into the legislation that only ended towards the end of the 1980s, you would be amazed. We were not allowed to have many types of businesses which today black people are running in the country. We couldn't even drink the usual white, what we called white bujal or white beer. You had to be exempted from the past laws to be able to buy a bottle of brandy. Or we had to use a white person to buy you a bottle of brandy. Many people changed their surnames from Motsuenyane to something else in order to qualify as coloureds. The coloureds were able to buy, but we black people couldn't. Now, Black Chain started very well. We got the patronage that we had expected from black people, and that business resulted in many other black chains throughout the country being established. We had in Umtata, in Cape Town, in various places, our black people began to see light that it is indeed possible for us to set up businesses of that kind. Then we thought about construction. One of the greatest needs in the country is housing for black people, and we are not involved in that industry. At that time, we were not involved. So we created a company called the African Development and Construction Company in 1977. That is the company which built Winnie Mandela's house. If you know, in Soweto, one of the things that ADCC did. But many of the township houses in Kwatema, in Welkom, in Krugersdorp, were built by the ADCC. I was chairman of ADCC as well. I was just a director of Black Chain. Mr. S.J.J. Solang, I don't know if any of you know him, one of the earliest entrepreneurs, black entrepreneurs in Orlando. He was the chairman of Black Chain. After the establishment of ADCC, we still had to go forward. Another important company that was established, of which I was also the chairman, was the National African Farmers Union. One of the things Africans have not yet done and still have to do is to capture the idea of the utilization, optimal utilization of the land. However small the land, we've got to become experts in the usage of the land. Some of you may have heard that in the 1930s, we had a white poverty problem in South Africa, the poor white problem in South Africa in the 1930s. This was the problem of the Afrikaners. The Afrikaners who were not so well educated at that time, who were subservient to the English, who were not having industries. And a commission of inquiry investigated why there was the white problem, the poor white problem. The Carnegie Foundation from New York came to South Africa to investigate reasons for the existence of the poor white problem in South Africa. You may want to know, how did the poor white problem get eliminated? Because today we talk about the poor black problem. What can we learn from that story? The poor white problem in South Africa. The Afrikaners began to be trained in agriculture properly, seriously. The Afrikaners were given space in the public service. The police, the harbours, and the government could learn a lot, and we, as entrepreneurs, could learn a lot. We are asking now why Africans have not developed in agriculture. We always say we have no land. But the land that we have, however small, warrants us to use it properly. Because if we ask for more land, which is justified, yes, we must get more land, but more land without it being used properly is not going to make a difference. We've got to get more land, but if we get more land, let's use that land optimally. I want to give you something that has happened recently. When I came back from Saudi Arabia in 2000, I had been living in a country that is semi-arid. In that semi-desert area, the biggest dairy in the world is in Saudi Arabia, in a semi-arid area. How did this come about? People are dedicated. They want to make the best use of what they have. They have no water there. They get water from the Red Sea, desalinated water. They have got 27 desalination plants around the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf. And without the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf, they would actually perish. There would be no agriculture, but there is agriculture there. And when I came home, I organized a few farmers, and we started a citrus project in Winterveld in 2001. And today, as I speak, we are producing more than 100 tons of oranges from Winterveld, from which we can not only sell as the oranges, but we can also process those oranges and produce juices. This is where we are going. If you visit me one day in Winterveld, I'll show you our project, about which we are very proud.